Good evening, everyone. It's November 21st, 2023, and look at that. We put in another, it was green on the day, however, red overall. If you think of, we closed underneath the prior day's close, so, oh, wow, look at that. We managed to get in a red session. um, NASDAQ, a little bit more red, definitely showed more weakness. Dow, pretty tight range today relative to yesterday, and the Rusty kind of staying sold below that 180 sort of number, this kind of balance we were in before back in kind of the start of the year. Uh, the S&P, well, I had mentioned that I thought that we were largely going to trade inside yesterday's value area. That's what we ended up doing. We spent the entire day actually trading inside yesterday's value area. We managed to get some bids. Maybe I'll show it to you guys on the screen here. We managed to, we tried to stay bid here for the entire first, what is that, about 45 minutes. We were staying bid off of where we had this huge volume bar and a clear level of interest. This was during the bond auction. And I'd mentioned that this was kind of my low of day zone that I was looking at, and we traded down to it during the overnight. Broke the overnight low, and I still thought that this was kind of the area to be bid. You've got last week's high here, you had the Friday high here, this sort of area, anywhere down here up into this point of control, this orange line, kind of hard to see, but that's where I was looking for us to say bid off of. I got long the IB low, so 38 and 75 cents on the ES, and I think I held it until about 47 or something like that, somewhere around here I took it out. Notice that here's the opening price, and he managed to trade above it several times. However, stayed offered the entire time, couldn't even make it to the close. This is different than the NASDAQ over here. The NASDAQ, here's the open, trended down instead of sideways like the ES. This thing clearly trended down, broke down, and then we could not actually get to the open the entire rest of the session. We did not get back to that price up there, 389-ish. And unlike the ES, which kind of salvaged itself at these lows, this thing actually dropped a bit lower and almost got into that yesterday's open. So here's how I'm seeing this thing. We had Nvidia earnings, right? And I think the earnings, as far as I know, were actually kind of good, but I think they had some stuff about China that that stuff wasn't looking so great. They expect China Q4 sales or something to be down. I don't know. I don't pay too much attention to this stuff. There you go. Look, a nice job on earnings, a nice job on revenue. I think the stock was down after hours. How do I pull that up? So about $500 at the close, and yeah, 490 after hours, wicked down to 470. I think we're going to have a bit of a wonky open. I think anyone who was a week long in the stock is going to be flushed out in the morning. That might give excess downward pressure on the NASDAQ. And in that case, what I would expect is for us to kind of break these lows. I don't think this area would really hold. I think instead we'd sell down and would come down into yesterday's open here. That 386 kind of number, that was also clearly an important balance spot in general. So this would be kind of the first area I'd look for us to hold. That is settlement lows as of tomorrow. I'd look for us to hold there or hold over here. I do not think we're going to get some sort of mass liquidation scenario. News-wise tomorrow, I don't think we have much. What do we have? Unemployment claims pre-market, some revised. You have University of Michigan consumer sentiment stuff at 10. Thursday is the holiday. So in terms of pacing for the day, here's what I'm thinking. You have the Nvidia stuff in the morning, maybe causes a messy open. To me, I would expect us to get those week longs to sell out. So I would expect some weakness. On the ES, maybe we stay bid around here. If we don't, I would expect us to say bid somewhere here, or at the worst, get down into settlement lows and stay almost definitely bid off there. I would definitely be taken along there. The NASDAQ, I imagine, would at least be coming down to settlement lows. Probably stays bid off there. I would be surprised if we broke this balance low. After that kind of very what I imagine will be kind of erratic or shaky morning from the NVIDIA crap. You've got that news coming out at 10 o'clock. I think that kind of, I think that'll actually settle us down more than anything. And then pretty much by the euro close, I think this is going to become really, really choppy. I mean, just look at this thing today, right? This is a 5-minute chart. You want to go down to a 1 minute. I mean, look at this thing. Just chop, 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 chop. The S&P was even worse. It was chopping in an even tighter range here, right? So I'm looking for kind of a choppy session after the euro close. Thursday, the holiday. Friday, I don't even think I'll be trading. I think it'll be a proper mess. Right now, futures. There's the beautiful, there's the beautiful NVIDIA spike up. Took all the high of the day, stops down, and took all the low of the day stops. You love to see it. We've broken value area low. That 953 number looks like we're coming up to the highs. S&P, we have. Where is Globex? There we go. Looks like we've broken value area low at 46s. It looks like we're coming up to value area high. I would not be surprised if we get a gap up sort of session, given how tight today's range is. In that scenario, if we do gap up above these highs, I would look for us to hold kind of around here and break these settlement highs, break Monday's highs. Anyway. Hope that makes sense. Hope that helps. I'm still kind of bullish, right? I just need to see how this NVIDIA shit shakes out in the morning, and then I think we can get a good sense of direction. I struggle to believe we're going to have any sort of insanely dramatic liquidation, end of the world move happen prior to Thanksgiving. It just this year hasn't really been like that. I just don't think that's going to happen. We're still trading above this kind of 451.5 level. It's been kind of the key spot, right? Stayed bid there a bunch of times in July. That was the key spot in August and September. We're trading above there. We're holding there really well. I just don't see us really running into trouble. As long as we're trading above 45, 45, 25 kind of spot, somewhere around here. Let's call it 26 to around there. As long as we're trading above that, I think it's best to lean to the long side. Hope that makes sense. Hope it helps. Can never make a video shorter than 5 minutes. Have a great night. Trade safe.